Welcome to Model Engineers Laser. My name is Connor. This is part one of a series building our Y6 Tram Kit. By no means am I a professional at this, so expect some mistakes that I will make as I go along, as I've never built the kit before and it's a learning experience for me too. Let's take a look inside the box. In here you will find your chassis as a pre-welded construction, motors, coupling plates, the body, the roof, wheels, cow catchers, axles, bevel gears and bearings, perspex windows, and your actual couplings. We also have an instruction booklet, and in here you will find the small bevel gears and the screws. So if I move that box out of the way, you can see all the parts laid out in front of you. So let's start by having a look through the instruction booklet. In here you will find both a photographic and a written documentation on how to build the model. We're going to start with the assembly of the body. Now laid out in front of you are all the parts we provide to build the body. There are many parts which come attached to each other. These will need separating before we start building. To separate these parts, we're going to twist them off and they're going to leave a slight sprue. These are going to be filed down to make them flat, and so we don't have any issues when we try to put the pieces together. I'll do these off camera just to save a bit of time. And there we go, all the parts that came attached now detached and the sprues removed. We can put these aside for later on. Next we're going to start with assembly of the body. Now for this video I'm going to just put the pieces together and I'll glue them together before the next part. We'll start with, as the instructions say, assembling the floor to the buffer beam supports. So we're going to need the 4 of these, the buffer beam support plates, and the actual floor. These just slot together and push into the slots. One there, one there. These need to go flat in, otherwise remember to get other parts on later on. So there are the 4 buffer beam supports in. Next step is to put in the side skirts, which are these 2 parts here. And these just push into the sides, as like so. And this side. There we have the first two steps complete. Next step is to install 2 buffer beam end plates. These go with the holes down towards the floor in this current orientation. So these will need lining up with all the slots as so. If everything is lined up properly, it should be, they should just push together, or not. They should. Need a slight bit of filing to make them fit together. I'll quickly do that. Now I've taken a file and taken down the tabs ever so slightly, they should now fit together much easier. So again we'll put the end in, making sure it lines up with all the slots. It should sit square with everything, and it's the same again on this end. And things will fall out as I haven't actually glued them in place. But there we go again. For the final assembly, they will be glued in place. There we go. Steps 1 to 3 on the instructions, and it says here to put an elastic band round whilst the glue is drying, but as we're not gluing it together at this stage, we can leave that be. Next step is to flip the whole assembly upside down so we can start to assemble the actual body. We're going to put together the body first, so slot together the right way up the 2 bulkhead pieces with the slots pointing down as they will fit into the the floor we've just done. So with both of those in there, you can also put on the top, the other side. It should push together to give us 2 walls and 2 spaces in between. These will be pushed into the associated slots in the floor. All fall apart like that. But there we go. Just put them back together. And try it again. Line up all the slots, and it should just push in like so. So we now have 2 sides on the model. The next step is to fit the 2 end plates, which are these 2, and these push into the 2 ends, lining up the 3 tabs with the 3 holes. Which again might require a little bit of filing as they're quite tight, but we'll sit something like that. Same with the other end, like so. The next step, if I was actually gluing the kit together, would be to fit the buffer beams. These are glued in place by lining up the holes in the actual buffer beam supports, like so. And this is done on both ends. We then also need to glue in place what's the best way to describe it? The detailed, well, strapping detail. These go with the laser cut burn marks on the inside, in place as so. Let's bring that closer. In place like so, with the windows covering the windows. And then the same again for the ends with these ones to glue in place like that. Now I'm going to go away and glue this together so we've got a nice solid base for when we put the roof on in the next part. There we go. That is the body now glued together for the Y6 tram. few things to mention about gluing your kit together. So don't forget to glue these little corners in the top of the door arches, because they can easily be forgotten as they're quite small. But yes, that's it for this video on the build. In the next video we will look at getting the chassis put together along with the roof cow catchers, and we'll see about fitting wheels and setting up the motors.